Thank you. Good afternoon. So I'm going to talk about what I think and what we believe at Cosmotech is the future of AI. And we call that augmented intelligence. So may seems worried, but I'm going to give you an example and tell you a story. A couple of days ago, I went to a car dealer to buy a new car. And the car dealer said, oh, that's great. We have a fantastic car. And there is a lot of AI inside. And I say, oh, good. Can I try the car? And the guy says, yes, come in. We're going to make a ride with the car. So I started to drive. It was a very good car. And at a moment, the night was falling. So I was looking for the lights. And the dealer said, no, it's a great car, but we don't have lights in the car. I said, but how can I do? And they say, oh, it's very easy. You have rear view mirrors. You just have to look at the rear view mirrors, and you are going to see what happened in the past, and then you will be able to understand what's going to happen in the future. And you will be able to make decisions, decide to turn right, to go left, and to make your decision. And I said, oh, it doesn't make any sense. And they say, oh, this is artificial intelligence. You look into data from the past, and then you can use that to make decisions. Doesn't, makes a lot of sense if you're driving a car. Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you're running a company, if you're a decision maker. And today, if you talk to decision makers at every level, they say, oh, tomorrow will not be like yesterday. The world is changing. My business is changing. And you ask, what can I do? What do you do? I say, I use AI. Well, AI is looking in the rearview mirrors. That's what it's made for. And the people are facing with extremely complex situation, very hard decision to make. And what do they need? They need lights. They need to be able to forecast. They need to be able to understand what's going to happen if they make this decision rather than that decision. And that's the real problem. That's the real, difficulty. And the problem is that the tools today only allow to look backwards and to try to learn from that. But you cannot understand from the past things that never happened in the past, which is what you're facing. So let's look at what is AI. Where does it come from? Well, at the beginning, the idea of the AI, it's an old idea, is to be able to create machines that can mimic the human brain, right? That's a noble, task, noble, objective. Roughly speaking, our brain, I mean your brain, my brain, we are able to do two things. One, the first thing is recognition. I look at something, I look at you, and I can recognize you tomorrow in a crowd. It's a black box, right? I am not able to explain to someone who didn't see you how to recognize you in a crowd. But I can do it. It's fantastic. That's recognition. But it seems that my brain, and hopefully your brain, is able to do something else. You're able to reason. You're able to think. You're able to forecast. You're able to build. This is intelligence. By the way, at the end of the day, you always use the two sides. When I speak, you recognize the word. I mean, hopefully, I have a terrible accent, but I hope you can recognize the words. This is recognition. But hopefully, with what I say, there is a meaning. You understand. You connect that with other things in your brain, and you forecast. That's the second part. And you're using the two at the same time. Well, I have a bad news. Today's AI, and probably for a long period of time, is only able to teach machine how to learn to recognize. This is what is done with neural network machine learning. It's recognition. It's mimicking our brain, but only the part of our brain which is able to run in less than 1 second. I recognize someone. I recognize a picture, right? And this is what is today AI is doing. The bad news is nobody is able to do and has the beginning of the idea on how to make a machine learn, how to reason, how to think, the second part. And the big problem is, well, when you want to make a decision, you need both parts. You need the recognition part because you can recognize things that happened in the past, but you need to understand the mechanism. You need to understand what is happening. And the bad news is machines are not able to do that on their own. So this is the bad news. The good news is that there are some machines which are able to do that. I mean, if we consider ourselves as machines, we are able to do that. So our brain is able to do that. And so if you want to put that in software, if you want to be able to use the tech to help you solve the decision problems you have, you need to mix human intelligence, which is able to understand, and machine intelligence, which is able to recognize very fast, much faster than what we do. And this is what we call augmented intelligence. This is what we do at Cosmo. We encapsulate the expertise of different experts on some subjects. We make the link between all these expertise, description of the mechanism of what is happening. We couple that together in software. We add artificial intelligence that is able to recognize some situation. We put all that together, and we are able to run simulation, to do what-if scenarios, to help you turn on the lights and see what may happen in the future. It's not what will happen in the future. I'm not predicting the future, but we can show with these tools what may happen in the future. This is something quite big, by the way. And some players are doing that at the moment. There's been a study, very recent research study, that says that global augmented intelligence market, this is what we call augmented intelligence. We augment the human intelligence by taking it, putting links between different human intelligence and artificial intelligence. And this is going to change the way the business is done, because these tools are to be made with persons, with humans, and used by humans to make better decisions. And we have been very lucky to be put as players with these three small, Google, Microsoft, and IBM, as the main players playing in this augmented intelligence field. That's the thing what we are doing. So what do we apply? We are creating software. We are a software vendor. We are creating software for some subject. We extract intelligence for human beings, put that in models, couple that with AI, and create software that allows to simulate. So we are doing that in many different fields, mainly in critical infrastructure to optimize asset optimization, for asset optimization. We're doing that in the electricity sector to help electricity transmission operators, the high voltage, optimize their investment. And we are talking about approximately 1 billion per year per player, and they use our software to save 10% of this amount by using augmented intelligence. We're also doing that for gas. We are doing that for helping nuclear power plants managers to optimize the shutdown of power plants. I don't know if you know, I'm from France. It's a country where we have a lot of power plants, a lot of nuclear reactors, nuclear power plants. And every year, you have to shut down the power plant and to do maintenance operation every year. And you have 15,000 tasks to operate, and all tasks is interacting with another. And one day of shutdown, the cost is 1.5 million, right? So when you're running this simulation to know what's going to happen with your plan, we can help them make better decisions in this context. We are also doing that in mass transit. I don't know if you have ever been stuck in the train, being late because of congestions. Well, what we do, we are working with players in this sector. We gather on the fly real-time data. We're able to know exactly the state of the train system. And what we do, we run simulation, and we are able to say what is going to happen in the next 20 minutes. If we see with the simulation, if the customer sees with the simulation that they're going to be congestion, what do? They have a set of actions they can operate, and they're just going to simulate the impact of each of these actions over a period of 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And they choose the one that is the best. This is called supervision. And this is something we are providing software, augmented intelligence software, in which we encapsulate all the expertise of all the experts of the train system, plus AI that gathers data and learns from data, put all that together in order to help decision makers, in this case, to make you arrive on time rather than being late, for example, at a web summit. So what I wanted to share with you today is the fact that AI is great, but the big important thing is data, which AI is based on, is not enough. Data is not enough. Recognition is not enough. You need understanding. And this is what augmented intelligence provides. Human intelligence encapsulated in software plus artificial intelligence. This is the future of AI. This is augmented intelligence. Thank you very much.